Hey guys, welcome back here to today's episode of Intuitive Angling, and man, I appreciate you guys checking today's video out and spending some time with me. I got a sort of a depressing video for you guys in terms of catching big fish, because I want to talk about why your odds of ever catching a 12-pound bass are less than 1%, probably barely over zero. I mean, it is minuscule, the odds that you have of catching a 12-pounder, and I really want to explain why that is, because there's a bunch of different reasons why those fish are so rare and why they're even more difficult to catch now than they've ever been to. So we're going to dig into that in today's video here. Also, guys, a couple quick reminders for get started. SolarBat has got that big spring sale right now on my signature series RB2s and RB3 glasses. You can get them at 40% off right now, guys, 40%. And also, if you use that promo code RandyB, you get free shipping and handling. So I'll have my SolarBat link in the description of this video, or you can get them through my Tackle Warehouse link. And also, guys, if you're looking for a fish scent that really works, guys, give this bait pop a try. I've been using this for about 3 months now. Absolutely love it. It's got amino acids. It's got real fish in it. You put it on your fingers and you just rub it into your bait like this, and it stays on there for like 30 minutes. They got a bunch of different flavors and glitter colors, but I've definitely noticed a difference in the number of bites I get when I use that. So appreciate you guys putting up with the plugs there. Okay, 12-pounder, guys. I have been fishing, all over the country as a full-time professional bass fisherman my entire life, and I've never caught a 12-pound bass. Biggest fish I ever caught, I didn't get a chance to weigh it. It was probably about an 11-pounder. I have weighed 2 fish over 10 pounds, so this one was bigger than that, but it wasn't 12. So I've never caught a 12-pounder, and they are extremely rare, and I'll explain to you why. First of all, the odds of a bass reaching 12 pounds are phenomenal, as far as phenomenally slim. It's like 1 in a billion fish for a fish to actually get to 12 pounds, because you have to have so many different things line up for that. First of all, it basically has to be a Florida strain bass. It's like a northern strain bass that weighs over 12 pounds is basically unheard of. They exist. I mean, they've caught them, they're northern strains, but extremely rare. So most of those 12-pounders are Florida strains bass. The next thing with that is, when you're talking about a bass that is 12 pounds, you're talking about a fish that's probably over 15 years old. So you have to think about that. In order for a bass to live over 15 years, it has got to avoid so many pitfalls. I mean, it has to be reclusive, it has to be smart, it has to be like the Tiger Woods of bass in order to, actually get to 12 pounds. Extremely, extremely rare. On top of that, in order for a bass to get 12 pounds, it has got to eat big food. And one of the reasons that you don't see many 12-pounders anymore is that most of the 12-pounders before were caught like in California, where they stock trout heavily. And a lot of those trout stocking programs have ended, years ago. So you don't have the big trout populations, and that's why you don't see all those giant bass like you used to in California quite so much. So you have to have this exemplary bait fish supply for a 12-pound fish. Trout, big gizzard shad, different types of big bait. So all that stuff has to line up with it. The next thing with it is that technology and all of the advancing, equipment, innovations that we have, basically those big fish have nowhere to hide anymore. They are, they're easier to find, forward-facing sonar and all the electronic technology. A lot of those fish have gotten pinpointed. All the type of technology that we've had makes those big fish have less and less safe areas to be in. So you have this combination of more anglers on the water than ever. You've got fish that are super smart. You got fish that are genetically, just freaks of nature that are getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer to come by. There's a lot of different factors why you'll probably never catch a 12-pounder ever. But if you do want to catch one, there's a very limited number of places in the country that a 12-pounder can be caught. Probably your best odds of catching a 12-pounder are still in California. Even though the lakes there are small, they're heavily fished, there is big ones out there. The second with that would be, Texas. I mean, Texas with their, the Florida stocking programs they have and all that type of stuff. Texas is a good bet, and to a lesser extent, Florida. And what you have to have in order for a bass to get to 12 pounds is, number one, you have to have a really long growing season, and you have to have very mild winters. Because if you don't have a long growing season and you have severe winters, that's not conducive to bass gaining a lot of weight and keeping that weight on. So therefore, you basically have 3 states where your odds of catching a 12 pounder are above 1%. If you catch a 12 pounder anywhere with the exception of Florida, Texas, and California, it is a freak. There used to be some 12 pounders caught like at Lake Chickamauga, a few years ago, but that sort of went away. So when you talk about, 3 different states that produce, 98% of the 12 pound and bigger bass, you can see it makes it even, the odds of it are even smaller and smaller with that. So if you take away electronic technology away from fishing, then your odds even go down even further, because anymore, most of those giant fish are taken, using the cheater box. They just are. I mean, you don't hardly ever hear anybody catching a big fish anymore of that caliber just by traditional fishing means. And same with artificials. I mean, most of them are caught with live bait, like that 22-pound fish that was caught in Japan several years ago that was caught on a live bluegill. So there's just a lot of factors up against it. So I'm sorry to be a buzzkill. You'll probably never catch a 12 pounder. I'll probably never catch a 12 pounder, but I do appreciate when I see one being caught or when I see a truly big fish. I can't even imagine what one of those big giants look like. I mean, I've caught several fish in the 10-pound class, and I can't even imagine another 2 or 3 or even 5 pounds on top of a 10-pounder. A 10-pounder looks so freaking huge. An 8-pounder looks big, or a 7-pounder. If you've ever caught a 7 or 8-pound bass, it looks like a freak. I mean, it does. And just to add another 5 pounds on top of a 7-pounder, hopefully I'll get experience in one day, but you never know. So anyway, guys, hope you're well. We'll talk later.